Hi everyone, it's Allison here with the Fitchburg State University Technology Department. As you know, I am your trainer. I wanted to take a few minutes to review how to record captions with Google Meet. Hopefully you know by now, very exciting news is that Google now automatically records captions when you select record in Google Meet. Some people might be a little worried about how that goes, so we're going to take a peek and look exactly at how that works and what you need to do while you're in Google Meet to make sure that everything is working properly. Here are some facts that you should know when you are thinking about recording your captions in Google Meet. From now on, when you select record in Google Meet, not only will you be recording your meeting, but captions will automatically be embedded in your recording as well. So you don't need to do anything extra, but the captions will happen no matter what. However, if you don't upload your recording elsewhere after that, like in YouTube or somewhere else, you can't directly edit the captions from Google Meet. They will just be how you see them. Hopefully they'll be pretty accurate, but as we know, there is never a place where captions are 100% accurate, so it'll be likely that you'll need to edit them somewhere. So it's always good to keep in mind that you can also select a transcript. We'll look at that in a minute. So again, no matter whether you have your captions on while you're watching the recording or while you're recording, or if you have them off, the recording will automatically have the captions embedded. So no worries. And nothing else changes with captions in the form of if you, the viewer, wants to see captions while you're recording, you do need to select the closed captions button. Okay, and that's an individual use, so every person in the meeting will need to select that for themselves. But as you, the person recording, if you do not select that, there's no worry. As long as you're actually recording the meeting, the captions will automatically be embedded into your recording. So that is a huge relief and a really great bonus. But again, remember that if you want to edit those in any way, you'll need to put the recording into another platform. YouTube is a great place for that. And then alternatively, you can always edit your Google Doc transcript. So if you select transcript as well as a recording, you can open up the transcript in Google Docs, edit your captions there, and then transfer your captions into your platform, copy and paste. It makes it much easier. If you've ever used YouTube to caption, you'll know that while you can do it, it doesn't pick everything up very easily. And there's no way to select all or change your grammar or punctuation as you could in a Google Doc. So that's a nice added bonus as well. So we're going to take a peek at exactly what this looks like. Here on this screen, you're going to notice a few things. You've got the recording feature button and then the transcript button. So when you see those in your meeting, you'll know that you are recording and or transcribing the meeting as well. When you go into the record option, you'll see this image on the right here that says record your video call. So long as you're doing that, you will see that you can select what is your language for captions. So you just need to make sure that you select a language that you want the captions to be embedded as. So if it's English or what have you. If someone wants to see live captions in a different language, they can set that up individually on their own screen. This is for whatever captions you want recorded, what language you want your captions recorded as in the meeting. Okay, and then you've got that last little option that says also start a transcript. And that will come over in English, again, in a Google Doc. Great option. I recommend people select that because it's nice to have. You might want it to refer back to the written word. You might want it to use so that you can edit the captions later on in an easier fashion in a Google Doc. Or you might just want it as some sort of a record of the meeting. So there's a lot of good uses for this, and if you don't use it, it'll be saved in your Google Drive regardless, and you have it to rely on. If you don't choose to transcribe, then all you're relying on is your recording. So if somebody's not quite sure what was said, or there's a language barrier, it's always nice to be able to go back to the transcript and you can kind of figure it out a little bit easier and then make the edits there. So you have two options. Now, while we're talking about the transcript, you can also create a transcript of a meeting without recording it. So if you're looking to take minutes of a meeting that's online on Google Meet without recording the whole meeting for privacy or what have you, you can still choose to create a transcript. And that is a huge time saver for people who do have to create minutes, or again, just want some sort of record of the meeting. Maybe you want to turn it into notes or what have you. So I'll show you how to do that as well. Here I am in a Google Meet with myself, but for this example, that'll do. When you want to record in Google Meet, you can go to one of two places. So we're going to start with the easiest one, which is all the way to the right bottom corner of your screen. You've got various icons. As we know, Google likes their icons. And so the second to the last one on the right, this one, it's three shapes. They call it activities. If you select this option, you have a variety of activities. You can create breakout rooms. This is where you would live stream, do polls, Q&A, recording, transcripts, whiteboarding. So as we know, we're going to actually record. So if I want to record, I can do that right from here. But remember how I also said if you wanted to get a transcript of this meeting, you can do it without recording. Here's where you would do that as well. So if I want to record and have a transcript, I'll do that all when I press recording. If I don't want to record, but I do want to get a written transcript in a Google Doc, I would just select transcripts. Okay, so for this case, we're going to select recording. And here's the screen I showed you a few minutes ago. So it's letting me know this recording is going to be saved in my Google Meet recording folder. So if you've never recorded before, you'll soon find out that once you record, Google actually creates for you their own Google Meet recording folder right in your drive. So you don't have to create anything. It will automatically get saved there. And once the recording is ready, you will also get an email. So depending on the size of the recording, it may be a few minutes, it could be up to a couple of hours. So don't worry, but you should certainly get an email alerting you, and it will also have a direct link to that recording. And then, of course, you can just go right into your drive and find it there as well. So here, I'm just letting me know, because I'm the host, this is where it's going to be saved. And now I need to select my language that I want the captions to be provided in. So I would want English captions in this case, so I'm going to select that. And then I can scroll down a little bit here, and this is my second option. Do I also want to create a transcript of this meeting? Again, this will only be for me for the time period, but if I wanted to share the transcript after the fact or edit it and then share it, I can do that because it will come over to me as a Google Doc. So if you feel like this is just going to be a quick meeting and you really don't think you're going to need the transcript, then you don't need to select it. Again, I encourage you to, because it's always nice to have that backup. If, again, you need to edit your captions, that's where you'll be able to do it, because you will not be able to do it directly from Google Meet. Once you get that recording, that's how it is, unless you post it somewhere else where you can edit it. So it's nice to have the transcript. Again, it might also be nice to have just a record of the meeting and so forth. So once you're all set, selecting these, we're going to press start recording. The first thing you're going to see here is just a little reminder that this is a consent. You should let everyone know in your meeting that in fact you're recording and that you need to have their consent. And once you do, you can get started. And everyone in your meeting will also be able to see when you're recording. That's because on the top left here, as I showed you before, one or both of these buttons will show. So I've got this recording button, and then that's saying that the call is being recorded, and also this transcript. So right now, anything I'm saying. You might also notice that I do not have the closed caption button selected for me. Okay, but if you were in this meeting and you selected it, you would be able to see real time our conversation and anything happening in this meeting. So even though I don't have it selected, my captions are still being embedded into this recording regardless. So never worry about that. It's just an automatic piece now, which is really wonderful. But if for whatever reason I wanted to turn on closed captions, I can do that, and that isn't going to make any issue for the recording. You're not going to get them double or anything like that. So just to show you a little bit, I have turned them on, and you'll be able to see that it's done pretty well. It shows it in a transcript, so for me, it's just me. But if there was other people talking, that would be the case. I'm going to shut that off for a minute. Now, sometimes it comes up if you wanted to record or just have a transcript of a Google Meet. Keep in mind, it's going to transcribe who's in the virtual meeting. So if you've got other people in the physical room, it's quite possible that it may not pick them up unless they're closed, or if it does, it's going to be recorded under the host name. So for example, I'm speaking, but if I had other people in the room and they started talking, it would show their words, but it would show it as me speaking it, okay, because they're not virtually logged in. So I hope that makes sense. So just keep in mind that when you go to look at your transcript, you're going to say, well, wait, I didn't say that. It's you as the person logged in, and you might need to just make a point to differentiate who actually said what when you go to do the transcription. But certainly it would still save you time if you're trying to create meeting notes or minutes and so forth. So it will caption or transcribe everyone in the meeting virtually, but those who are in the physical room, if you happen to be logging in and most of you are here, just keep in mind it's not going to be able to say, oh, Susie's over here or Steve's over here, because you're not logged into the meeting. Okay, and if you're close enough to the speaker, it'll still pick up the information. Okay, so just keep that in mind as well. So when I am done, I can certainly choose to stop recording by going up here and pressing on that icon. Same with the transcript. I can select the stop recording, stop transcript, okay? And if I forgot and I just ended the call, both of these would be automatically ended anyways. So no worries if you get confused and move on to something else. So in this case, I am going to stop both. And it's going to let me know, okay, it's going to go into the meeting organizer's Google Drive, which in this case happens to be me. I'm stopping it. And then I'm going to do the same with the recording. Again, it's just alerting me where it's going to be saved. And I'm stopping that. Okay. I can get out of this box at any time once I started that. The other place that you can go is to the three vertical dots that is next to the phone hang up or turn on button. And in here you have a variety of options. And you could go to manage recording. Here you would only be taking care of the recording. So if you are looking for just that transcript without the recording, you do need to make sure you go down to the activities button that we started with. That is the shapes. So in this case, though, if you just wanted to do your recording, you would again get your box and go from there. Okay. So in a few minutes, I will get an email for both the transcription and for the recording, letting me know that they're both complete and saved in my Google Drive. So keep in mind one more thing, that when you do get that email that your recording is done, if you don't immediately see the captions in the recording, do not panic. It just takes a few extra minutes for those to process. They will show up. They will appear. But even though it's telling you the recording is done, it may just take a few extra minutes to get those captions all processed as well. So just give it some time and go back to your recording to check. And while we're talking about captions, let's just quickly look into how captions look for you as an individual or as your participants in the meeting. So as I said, right now I'm not recording, I'm just in the meet. So you can always remind people that they are welcome to turn on closed captions for themselves, Again, it could be for language barriers, it could be for different learning needs or differences, or certainly for somebody who may be hard of hearing or deaf. There's a variety of reasons why people might put on the captions. So the first thing I would do is go to the three dots, and then I would go to settings on the bottom of that pop-out screen. And here's where you would take care of all your settings, but I could go down here to captions, and it's just letting me know, okay, what do you want the language of the meeting to be when the captions are turned on? Okay, so do I want to turn this on so that captions are now turned on, and what language do I want them to be in? Okay, so I'm going to have them in English. Okay, now if I knew this meeting was going to be held with people who spoke another language predominantly, I could ask Google to translate these captions. So I could choose to turn this on and translate it to another language. So I'm still speaking in English, and it's going to be recorded that way, but I want my audience to be able to see the language, the captions translated to a different language. So I've chose Spanish. So for anyone who turns that on, you can see here, I had it on Chinese for a second, so that started there. Everything I am saying now is going to be translated in the captions in Spanish. So that might be, again, that's an overview of turning them on for a different language, but certainly as an individual, they can go into their settings and, make it so that they choose the type of captions that they would like as well. So that's where you would find your captions. Okay, my meeting is over. So now I waited a few minutes, and sure enough, in my email, I received 2 emails. One that says the meeting transcript has been uploaded, and it gives me a direct link to this Google Doc and also a button to open it in my Google Drive so I can see exactly where it's saved. Then my second email is, just as I explained, a direct link to my recording, and then also a button where I can open it directly in Drive. But I know that it's been saved in my Drive under the Google Meet recording folder that's automatically been created for me. And it will always be saved there unless I make changes and move it otherwise. So for the transcript, let's look at how that comes across. So as you can see, it's labeled with the Meet name. So when I open it, it's going to look like that, but I can edit it just like I would a normal doc. So I can remember, in fact, what this relates to. So you might want to title it under something that will make sense to you. It does have the date and the time, so you can certainly change it from there as well. So I'm just going to select this, and it's going to open the transcript for me. This is the first time I've seen it, but it will tell me the attendees. And then it just lets you know that this is certainly a computer-generated document. It's likely to contain errors. You can certainly change it after it was created. So in here, I could certainly run a spell check just to see if there's anything that pops up first. So it's bringing up a part where I said, when you go to, to look at your transcript, so do I want to accept that change, edit it, what have you, I can do that. And then I can go, ignore that, and it's not finding anything else that comes up. But as you read this, certainly if something should be capitalized or edited, you can always edit just like you do normally. So in a Mac, it would be the Command F so that I could find something in a document. So it might be the word so, and it will come up. And then if I want to replace that with something else, I can do it all in one time instead of going back and forth, which is when YouTube makes it a little tricky. So here's where I could totally edit this. Again, if this transcript was made without recording and this was your meeting minutes, you might want to change the name of the person, again, if it was someone in the meeting room, because as you can tell, it's all just me. And you might also have some other information to add. You can change the title of this, move it, and then obviously share it as you would any other Google Doc. So that's the transcript. which again does a really nice job, and it makes it a whole lot easier to now copy and paste this information into a YouTube or another platform where you would host your video, and then you know that you've reviewed the captions, that they're as accurate as they can be, and now it's easy enough to move them over versus hoping they're okay, hoping that they're kind of accurate, which is really not what we want to do, and then hosting them on a website or sharing out the video recording without having done any edits. If certainly there are no edits, then great, but if there were, I would want to have this backup, because you can see in just a few minutes of me speaking how many words came across. Okay, so that's what the transcript looks like. And then I can go back to my inbox and I can head over to this other email and I can open my recording. So I presume that the captions will come over right away because it was pretty short. But again, if it didn't, it does not mean the captions will not live. They just may not be there yet. So I'm going to select this. On the top and here, once I select this,
one or both of these
closed captions, you can see nothing is showing up yet.
And then
I'm going to mute that. Nothing is showing up yet, even though I'm speaking. So, it's not showing this screen, obviously, because I'm recording it. But in a few minutes, it should show up with the captions, because, again, they're automatically embedded once I picked that language. So if you select the closed caption button and nothing appears quite yet, you might want to just, double check or make sure, in this case, are they on or are they off? So I have them on, but there's nothing there yet. So we can come back and check on that. And then, of course, because this is going to be saved in your Google Drive, you can also save this to your computer, or you can share it out as well. Just make sure you're checking on your settings and security to who you're sharing it with and what have you. But certainly don't do that if the captions are not accurate. You want to make sure that they're accurate. Think of it this way. You don't want to have to give somebody more work. Do they need to be reading this and trying to understand? When I say meet and it's writing MEAT, that's kind of confusing. Also, a transcript is great, but alone, a transcript is not helpful to somebody who's trying to follow along. So please don't just give someone, here's a transcript, figure it out. That's not what we want to do either. The transcript is really meant for a tool for us and an added bonus, not to replace accurate captions. As promised, I waited another couple of seconds, reloaded, and now my captions are appearing when I play my recording. So they do appear, they show up, and in this case, they're going to show up just in the way the transcript showed. So if I'm happy with this, meaning that it's accurate, that there's correct spelling, the grammar is correct, that someone could easily follow along and understand who's speaking, what they're speaking about, then these would be fine. If they are not, if there's something spelled incorrectly, if it's just not coming over correctly or doesn't look right, or you think by any means it would not be easy to follow or understand and not add to your recording, then you do need to edit those. So that's what it's going to look like there. Now also keep in mind that right now I'm just previewing it in my preview option here. You don't need to use this open with YouTube Uploader. What you'd want to do is just preview it here in your screen and then download it when you're ready to go to the next step. So if I wanted to download this to my computer, and then I could upload it into YouTube, and I will provide at the end of this, in the description of this video, you'll see that there are some links to additional resources, and one of them is a step-by-step of how you go from here to YouTube, add in your recording, and then how you could eliminate the automatic YouTube captions and instead auto sync your transcript. So for me, I'm going to want to add in those edited captions that I edited in the Google Doc transcript, and I can just copy and paste those in, under the auto sync option in the editor of YouTube, and then it will sync up the timings and I'll be all set to go. So again, a little bit easier than trying to edit the automatic ones, automatic captions that are provided for you in YouTube. So if you're interested about that, do take a peek at that step-by-step document. Certainly reach out to me if you have any questions. But this is a quick overview of where you should look for your recording and transcript options when you're in Google Meet. Understanding again that captions are automatically embedded once you press record and you select the language of the captions you're recording. So even if you don't have the closed caption button on for yourself while you're recording, it doesn't matter. You will still be automatically recording captions. And again, they do take a few extra minutes to process. So just double check that they're there. And then if you want to take the next step to edit them so that they're 100% accurate and ready to go for your audience, especially for a wider group, then you should select the transcript so that you can edit that in the Google Doc and then copy and paste those into your platform. Well, hopefully this was helpful, got you started, and you're as excited as I am that we now have this next accessibility tool embedded right into our Google Meet. Take care.